What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Super quick video today and it's going to be a fun one. We're basically just going to watch videos of people being unathletic dorks and having a laugh at their expense, because that's really like something that I try to keep in mind as I'm training specifically for certain goals, that we still want to maintain our real world capabilities and athleticism, like at least to a basic degree. So you still want to be able to move. Okay, let's watch the first video. It went viral on Instagram, kind of viral, and it got discussed on X as well. And here we have two basically strength athletes attempting to sprint. And the funny thing is that both of them popped their hamstring at the same time, like clockwork. And one guy in the comments said, like, how did those old guys think they could sprint or expect to sprint without 3 weeks of warming up? And it's a funny comment, but those guys aren't old. They're like under 30. It's just the way they are training and the neglect. And specifically neglecting the capabilities of their tissues. And the thing is, like, I went to one of the guys' Instagram profile and he's even like, those are real strength athletes. Those aren't even just gym bros who just lift on machines all day. Like the guys doing Olympic lifts, etc. But it still doesn't prepare you for the forces of sprinting. And the problem is those guys actually have the strength and the power and the engine to really hurt themselves. And that's the problem with a lot of the old school strength and conditioning advice is you do your barbell squats and get your squat up and yada, yada, yada. Yes, now you're strong, now you have the engine, but your tissues still aren't prepared to handle those forces and those impacts at those speeds. So you still need to do the jumping and get some exposure to the sprinting, etc. Otherwise the big engine just leads to you hurting yourself more. And yeah, that's like I myself, yes, I'm getting a lot of extensive plyos, some intensive plyos, loaded plyos with my kettlebell sport training at the moment, but I'm aware that my training is super specific and at some point I will need to get back to sprinting and try to get exposure to those things, because otherwise it's use it or lose it. And here we have another video. It's Dave Portnoy or something, like I didn't know him, some kind of American celebrity, and he's late 40s, and here's his attempt at sprinting, and you see obviously there's like that no explosiveness whatsoever there. Stride length is really short, and yeah, that's like the other like side of the equation. Like that guy doesn't even have the engine to hurt himself, but obviously that's also not something to strive for. Let's watch it again. Yeah, you use it or lose it, man. And it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way, because there are 60-plus-year-olds running a 400 under 60 seconds. So something to think about. And here we have another video. This one is honestly just sad to look at. Like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, you kind of have to feel sad for the guy. But then you have to remember that he did this to himself. Like, he neglected his body for so long that he can't even support his own body weight hanging and has to face plant into the mud instead. And that's just the thing, like that's the reality. Like yes, we can't prevent aging, but a lot of the stuff we're seeing here, it's not a result of aging, it's a result of neglect. And that's the thing when people say, oh, I don't want to train. I mean, who gives a fuck? Like, it's like a grown-up saying, I don't want to brush my teeth. Nobody asked, just do it, right? And if you don't train, you're going to lose all of that capability. And it's going to get harder and harder until eventually you're going to have a hard time just doing everyday tasks, which is the reality of aging. And it's really easy to prevent with like some basic physical training. And one guy left me a comment the other day. I mean, I think it was a hypothetical question, but it's actually worth exploring. He said, if I lift weights and do biking, why would I need to do anything else? And I say this is an amazing start. Like that's already, that will get you like very, very far. That's like the polarized approach I always advocate for, recommend, is you do some form of resistance training, and it doesn't have to be a particular modality. It can be a barbell, it can be a sandbag, it can be kettlebells, it can be calisthenics. Like obviously some modalities are better suited for certain exercises than others, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter too much. You want to do some resistance training. On the other end of the spectrum, you have your cardio, you have your cardiovascular training, and again, you can choose whatever. You can choose biking, running, it's all good. And that's going to cover your base. That's what I call base building. Like that's like 80% of base building for me. Is your basic strength and power and your cardiovascular training. But you also need, kind of as the cherry on top, you need to work some other movement patterns. You need to work your jumping, sprinting, rotational patterns, like some maybe like climbing, hanging patterns, because that's really what leads to the transferability into the real world. And otherwise you end up with what we saw in the first clip. You have the super strong engine, but you can't actually put the rubber to the road. And here is another video I found on X today, like randomly stumbled upon it. It's some powerlifting meet. I mean, it's huge weight, but that's just like the isolated strength training taken to the extreme. Like, and it's just, to be honest, it's just ridiculous. Like, on the one hand, I don't want to be a hater. I want to say good for her. Like, I mean, that's big weight. That's like strong to even for a woman to like support that weight and even move it for 1 inch. But on the other hand, like, what's the point of that? Like, does that actually confer? I mean, it does confer some benefits. I'm sure her like bone density and like musculature is going to be in good shape, but still, like, there are much better ways to train for anything, basically, outside of the very specific niche that is competitive powerlifting. And I'm very aware of that, like even in my own sport, in kettlebell sport, like that's one of the things I like about kettlebell sport. It doesn't really allow you to have blind spot, like it doesn't really allow you to become slob, I guess, because you can't be super weak and you also can't have no endurance. Like if you look at like high level kettlebell lifters, like elite level kettlebell lifters, they usually have decent strength numbers, like not elite, but like good enough. Like a lightweight kettlebell lifters, they will at least deadlift usually double body weight. Like I think like most of them are going to have a double body weight deadlift, and the heavyweights aren't super strong, but they will deadlift like 500 pounds plus. And at the same time, they all will have a VO2 max of at least 50, probably more. Like to be elite, honestly, in long cycle, I guess you'd have to be 55, 60 VO2 max. So you gotta have it. You gotta have both, and you also gotta have some range of motion and resilience in your joints. But still, even so, there are like, it doesn't cover everything, right? You still need to like think about, okay, what are humans designed to do? Like those basic things, like can I sprint? Can I hang? Can I rotate? Can I like throw? And if you can't do it, like if you notice, okay, I'm starting to lose some capability here, you have to work it. Like I mentioned, like a couple days back, I mentioned it a couple days back that I started losing some comfortability in my deep squat, like my hip flexor got tight, and just squatting down unweighted or even with weight just didn't feel easy and natural anymore, and my squat pattern was becoming tight. So that's something I'm working on right now. So I don't want to like calcify into a statue like I see a lot of other guys doing. All right, yeah, that's the, like, I thought it would be funnier. I actually turned into a serious kind of talk, but yeah, I hope it gives you guys something to think about. See you guys tomorrow.